There is a moral decay occurring in America. I mean, just go shopping. You know, go to Target and see these little like tween girls and these like little teenage girls dressing like sluts with like short pants. I took my family to Lake Compounce, and you wouldn't believe the way these kids are dressing. I mean, it's like, unbelievable. And now birth control pills can be given, morning after pills, death pills, can be given at age 15 without parental consent, but you can't even I mean, there's how many things that are against the law for a 15-year-old that they can't do. They can't drink alcohol, but they can get birth control. They can't go to a movie that's for an R-rated movie, but they can get, the morning after death pill. It's just unbelievable. Society has come to this point where we're moving away farther and farther away from morality, and nobody can deny it. The movies are all horrible, and they're all like, it's either sex or, slick sex. Same thing with the music business. It's all sex, sleaze, and disgusting stuff. I mean, 20 years ago, you'd hear people complain about these things, and I was like I didn't see it, but it was there. I didn't see it, but it was coming. It was growing. It's a gradual thing, like the Fabian Society planned, and all the writings and all the truths that came out in Tragedy and Hope, where it's stated that that's their plan. In fact, the Fabians' plan is to slowly bring in these socialist programs, and that's what they're doing. And now it seems like everything's amped up, and lots of things are happening. And again, in July, the government's out of money again, going to have to raise the debt ceiling. It's like this 6-month drama that goes on as the debt just keeps getting bigger. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Everybody's more interested in watching Beyonce and Shakira get all slutty in the rain, and that whole thing, and paying attention to American Idol and all these TV shows. And wages are stagnant. Our wages are at the 1997 levels. It's unbelievable. Inflation is hidden. It's a hidden tax, and it's constant. Various fluctuations. Everything's wild because we have nothing to tie the money to, like it was tied to the gold standard. We're in some serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen, and I feel the need to explain that the things with the IRS and this whole thing is connected to the Council on Foreign Relations and the Federal Reserve Crime Syndicate. It's all connected. And look what this criminal organization known as the IRS has done to America. They ruin people's lives. They literally ruin your lives because they say you have to pay a tax that is unconstitutional. But nobody complains because they made it law even though it goes against the Constitution. That's right. You have to have apportioned taxes, indirect tax, and you cannot tax people's wages. They're taxing your everything. Same thing with when they tax your property in your local community, your local town, or your local state. Your state that tax cars and boats, and not expensive cars, any car. A beater, a $1,000 beater, you're gonna have to pay $150 in Connecticut. So you gotta, and it's for the roads and everything that doesn't seem to ever improve. And this is what it is. It's the money is siphoned off. I mean, just look at it that way. They do some things, but they take most of it. In fact, it was proven in the Grace Commission, 100% of what is collected is absorbed solely by interest on the federal debt. All income tax revenues are gone before one nickel is spent on the services expected from government. Grace Commission report submitted to President Ronald Reagan, January 15th, 1984. And the interesting thing is, the same people that own the IRS own the Federal Reserve, same people, the same groups. It's the same roundtable group. Because the way it works, as you can learned by reading Carol Quigley's great work, Tragedy and Hope, that the round tables exist. There are many of them. They work in round table groups, and there are rings. The inner ring is the beginning, the top ruling class families, and that goes outer, and compartmentalization is put into place as that goes along, so that people only know what they're supposed to know. It's sort of like military command. I mean, it really is. You only know what you're supposed to know, and you're supposed to do what you're told, and generally you're not in on the upper levels of the pyramid. What's going on? And that's how it works. And then some people are just absolutely not aware at all that they're part of the cog in the wheel. If you work for one of these criminal organizations, like, you know, Council of Foreign Relations, as an aide or something, you know, you just, oh, I'm just working on foreign affairs. You know, you don't know what's going on. You don't realize that. Same thing if you work at McDonald's or Goldman Sachs or Visa, Waste Management, National Endowment for Democracy, Carnegie Middle East Center, ConocoPhillips, Visa, and Boeing. All of those companies are involved in this CISPA. These are all the CISPA sponsorship. They're trying to control the internet, ladies and gentlemen, and they're actually getting hacktivists, you know, people to hack into the internet to cause corporate fascism into these companies, quote unquote. So they'll be doing corporate false flag attacks on themselves to state we need to do something about the internet. And the National Democratic Institute is one of many tentacles descending from the U.S. State Department and its National Endowment for Democracy. Now, here's where the money goes. You're saying, where does all this money really go? You know, well, it goes to pay interest on the debt. Okay, then where does the money that we are using go? That's not, where is it? That's the money that they print, and they keep raising the debt ceiling. Oh, are you starting to get the picture? Great. All right, moving along. So what we have here is the National Endowment for Democracy is a front. And despite the lofty mission statements about promoting democracy worldwide, the interests they represent are clearly those of the Fortune 500, including big oil, retail, media, banking, and defense. The convergence of corporate financier interests pervade the U.S. government from the top. Think tanks that direct U.S. policy at home and abroad, and out at the bottom through corporate chaired and funded NGOs that oversee the execution of this policy. And it's the Brookings Institution, you got the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, you've got Robert Miller, a corporate lawyer, you've got doing his thing there, you've got the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Larry Liebenow. He's a chief proponent of SOPA, ACTA, and CISPA. Yeah, they're total globalists. Center for International Private Enterprise. And Anne Marie Slaughter, U.S. State Department, Council on Foreign Relations, corporate member, and director of Citigroup. How nice, a little Rockefeller chick there. Okay, Anne Marie Slaughter. Also, we have Dick Gephardt. Remember Dick Gephardt ran for president? Well, he's a U.S. representative, and he's also a Boeing lobbyist, Goldman Sachs, Visa, Ameren Corporation, and Waste Management. He's a corporate consultant, lobbyist, and consultant, and he's now director of the Ford Motor Company. What do you know? He's a supporter of the military invasion and occupation of Iraq in 2003, for those that don't remember. This is just how they make things work. They work together through the Council on Foreign Relations, which sets the policy. They have the false left-right paradigm, the Republicans and the Democrats battling it all out, but meanwhile, the left agenda continues going. It's just that doesn't matter, even if you are. Look at Bush. Look what Bush did to take away the liberties of the people. Look what Bush did against the Constitution. Why is it okay for Bush to be bashed, but you can't bash Obama? Bush is a war criminal. Obama is a war criminal. They both should have been impeached. It's simple. They defied the Constitution, listening to NATO, taking orders from NATO and the United Nations, Obama. Lied about war and getting us escalations in this war with the weapons of mass destruction lie. I mean, do we forget these things? And then everyone's so slick. I mean, they got this mind-controlling Slick Willy thing with Obama. Everyone just loves him. He's like a rock star or something. Or he's like, he's like, I don't know, like, Jack Nicholson. Like, if Jack Nicholson was president, he'd rob you blind and you'd love it every minute, right? Because he's Jack Nicholson. Well, is it right? I mean, pretty much on target there. I mean, and then the morality of our country is descending so quickly. Like I said, the way these girls are dressing and the movies, and it's always death too, this goth thing, and like, these vampires, and death is just so big, and skulls, and you walk around, you see people getting with their shirts and they got skulls on, and they got skull tattoos and all this negative, dark shit. And I never really paid much attention to it until, I started to realize how influenced we are by society and how farther and farther away we're getting from God. Now, I'm not a religious zealot at all. In fact, I don't go to church, okay? In fact, I don't believe in the Catholic Church because I believe in Jesus Christ. And I think his church has been infiltrated by Lucifer, by Satan. And all the religions are controlled through the Council of Churches, which is funded by the Rockefeller Foundation, and everything I'm telling you is true. This is the information that nobody speaks of, nobody knows of, and that's why you hear it here on Truth Talk News. I mean, on the news, do you think you'd ever hear this story? When the Glock went off in 12-year-old Kendra's hand, blood was spilled. The bullets tore into the flesh of a 32-year-old home invader, causing him to flee and perhaps saving Oklahoman, Kendra Sinclair's life. This story from last year wasn't too popular with the media, but it's just one of many examples of kids and guns mixing well. That's right. See, the guns aren't the problem. In fact, kids used to, just a generation ago, or maybe just about a generation or so ago was the last time that, a 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid, you're going to get a .22 rifle, but no, not anymore, no, that's been bred out of society. That's been bred out of the thinking. Except those that continue that, they're called radicals. They're called right-wing radical extremists. No, they're just constitutionalists. They just believe in our right to bear arms, which is given to us by God, a right by God. Again, I'm not a religious zealot, so the media is lying. They'll never show you the truth that guns can save lives. They're only dangerous and evil. And take your pharmaceuticals and your vaccines and drink your fluoridated water and do what you're told. That's what they want. Obedient slaves. I believe that there's many evils and corruptions in the organizations of our world. You have to admit to the conspiracy, because it simply is true, that actually there are many conspiracies. 3 guys get together to rob a bank. That's a conspiracy. 2 guys rob a liquor store. That's a conspiracy.
Yeah. That this isn't a salary, that it's, but you got paid regularly for good information. I mean, the expenses were a little bit out of the ordinary, and it was really questioned. Don't tell Nancy I told you this.
Well, I have to tell her, of course.
Well, then if you have to, you have to.
Yeah, because, the lady was being honest, and I was being honest, and everything was submitted with receipts.
Yeah.
And now it's questionable.
It's not questionable. It's like a little out of ordinary.
Okay.
All
right. I don't think it was. If that's what you think, guys, fine. But I don't think that, because we was already building the bomb, which went off in the World Trade Center. It was built by supervision from the Bureau and the DA, and we was all informed about it, and we know that the bomb started to be built. By who? By your confidential informant. What a wonderful, great case.
Thank you for watching Truth Talk News. I'm Howard Nima.